Hey everybody, so I have a very sad, heartbreaking case for you today, and it's not so much because it was the birth parents, it was because the client and her father had passed away. So let me get into it. Welcome to Client Stories with Aimee. So our client came to us because there were some little clues that she had felt like something wasn't right with her dad. She felt like her dad was her dad, but his parents weren't his parents. He believed that his parents were his parents, but she said there were some clues growing up that just didn't seem right with her, and she thought her dad was adopted. So she wanted to know if her dad was adopted, if so, who the heck his parents were. So that's what we were doing. We get the DNA, we get the tree, and her sole purpose of figuring this out is because she had an autoimmune disorder and she wasn't so well. She was having a lot of medical issues. She wanted to make sure that whatever was going on wasn't something that was family, because she has a son. She had a 6-year-old son. So we get everything started. We were getting everything into the tree, and clearly we were able to quickly see that the person on paper for her dad's dad is not her dad, is not his dad. Was not no DNA whatsoever. When we looked at his mom, there was DNA, but there was only half of the DNA. So we had DNA to the client's dad's mom's line, but no DNA to the dad. So we were like, okay, what's going on here? And we started looking at the centimorgans a little bit closer. They're not lining up for that relationship. They're lining up for a different relationship that is a generation off. So we're going through everything, we're getting everything together, and we start to get a better picture of what is going on. We were able to identify who the birth mother is. We were able to identify who the birth father was. The birth father actually died when the client's dad was 6 months old. So he died when he was a baby. And we were able to get the client in contact with some family members, and the family members painted a whole different picture. So the people that the client called her grandparents, her dad's parents, there was no adoption. Like, they never said anything about adoption. There is an adoption to an uncle. The client's uncle was adopted. They're not biologically related. And it came out that this couple had a foster home type situation for the county. So anybody in the county who was an orphan or needed a foster home or temporary housing for whatever reason that was a child, they took those kids in. So they had all these kids in and out of the house, but they had these two that were adopted. One of them they didn't say was adopted, said it was biologically theirs. So when our client's dad was about a year old, his biological mother was in the sanatorium. She was in there for TB. She had no idea of what paperwork was. She didn't know how to read. She just knew she was in there, and she had family helping her with all 6 of her kids, including our client's dad. Her auntie comes over with some paperwork saying we need to take him to the doctor, but the doctor needs this paper signed. She signs it. Her kid's sick. She loves her kid. She wants her kid to get better. Signs the paper, can't read. She doesn't know what she's signing. She signed away custody to that lady, to her auntie. Her auntie did this. Then took that baby, crossed it over 2 county lines in the same state, and gave it to her kid to raise. Her kid didn't have any children and was married for about 15 years and still didn't have any children. So here's a baby. Here's a year-old baby. Congratulations, you're a mom. I'm not going to tell you how shady this whole thing was. And so we gave all that information. We got that update. We got all that information. The client knows everything, has a medical history that actually is family related. There was 2 other people that had the same exact autoimmune disorder in this family that was close to her dad's side of the family, like her dad, close to him. So clearly a family medical issue here. And so we give everything to her. She talks to her dad. Her dad says, I don't care what you say. These people are a lie, meaning us. And that family, his biological family, he had siblings that were still living. He had 1 sibling, a half brother that was still living, and a lot of nieces and nephews that were super excited to know what happened to him and reconnect with him. And he wanted no part of it. So our client did what she could to talk to everybody and get more information and learn about the family. And she sadly passed away a couple of weeks after that took place. And then her dad passed away a few weeks after that. Nobody had any idea what happened. But very, very sad. We got her truth, so she at least got to take that information and know it. But that's it, guys.